All right, guys, here we go. I'm trying another computer set up. My other computer, I've had some hacking problems, and um, obviously because of the websites being destroyed, and now I have out of several computers, several are acting weird. I just took the one I usually use off to get fixed or to get figured out. Anyway, so let's redo the video from yesterday. So here's the thing: Barack Obama has a fake birth certificate. Okay, now this is absolutely enormously huge because if you have some guy running the country that's got a fake birth certificate, that means anything he signed into law is null and void. That means any stroke of the pen he made is gone. Any legislation, gone. All of it. Now, don't forget, this is Satan's candidate right here. So you better realize that um, the way the enemy works is they're not just going to let their boy go down the tube because this is about world Islam. That's what this is about. It's about world Islam. Now, I'm going to show you guys a video or a radio. It's Carl Gallup's, and there's the P.P. Simmons group, and they are coming out with the revelation of Obama's identity. Now, this is huge, huge. I want you to listen to Carl Gallup when he talks. Now, listen. 4 years ago, Arpaio and Mike, the investigator that works with Arpaio, I'm sorry, I forgot his last name. They said they were coming out with, quote, universe-shattering news. They said it 4 years ago, and everyone's been freaking out, like, where's the information? Where's the information? Where's the information? Never came out. But now they're going to come out with it. And I'm telling you, everyone's about to find out who the Antichrist is right now. I guarantee freaking it. Those of us who knew. We knew. I mean, he is who he is. But I'm going to let you listen to this interview right now from Carl Gallup. And then I'm going to go back to 2014 where I did a video called The Unveiling, the Antichrist. It's got like almost 3 million views, and we're going to put them together. You know how hindsight is 2020. When you look over your shoulder a few years and you see what was done and you see what's going on right now, now you know who this guy is. You guys have been watching that Obama was complicit with Hillary Clinton. There's no doubt about it. He's part of the email thing. He gave $33 billion in cash and gold to one of our biggest enemies, Iran. Sent it to him in cash and gold. He didn't go through regular channels. So this guy has committed high treason. Him, Hillary, Podesta, Loretta Lynch, they're all going to be lynched, is right. Once Trump gets into office, it'll all come out who these people are. Well, they're not going to let that happen. So now's when everybody needs to pay attention. If you haven't given your life to Christ, now is the time. I mean, this is it. It's coming. So let's listen to this, and then I'll play the other video. Here we go. Let me just make sure I got all my levels. This is the first recording on this particular device. I hope it works. Come on, work. Here we go.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio lost his bid for a seventh term in office as Maricopa County. 6 terms is a record for the state of Arizona. Never have they had that in Maricopa County. But so his last day is January 1st. In the meantime, I've been having Mike Zullo on radio here on WEBY and the PNN live stream on the internet, which reaches around the world as well. And he's been telling us that it's getting ready to close it down. It's all in. Everything's been brought to a conclusion, although there's still many rabbit holes that were opened in this thing. It was horrendous. And the bottom line is, Mike Zullo made the announcement on the PNN live stream radio just last week, I think it was, maybe, or the week before. Anyway, you can go to carlgallops.com, and on the landing page, you'll see it. It's an hour-and-a-half interview. But you can, I mean, all of it I think is interesting, but you can skip through any part you want and just hear what's said. But the bottom line is this. before January 1st, because that's when Arpaio leaves office, Arpaio and Zullo have announced that they are going to do a national press conference. They're going to make a full report of the gist of what it is that they have uncovered. And I can just tell you that for all of you who've been waiting with bated breath, you will be vindicated. The document on the White House website has now been 1,000% proven to be an absolute criminally fabricated forgery. Now that's huge, because somebody associated with the White House fabricated a document and a forgery and passed it as the identifying document of the man who has been, quote, as Valerie Jarrett said, ruling for the last 8 years, who has been commander-in-chief, who has opened our borders, who has weakened our military, who has stirred up the Middle East, created ISIS, if you will, in Arab Spring. And the only identifying document he's ever presented is a criminally manufactured forgery.
Yeah.
And that is the bottom line of what's going to be presented, but there's other stuff too. So we'll keep you posted on exactly when, where, and how that's going to happen, and how you can see it either live and or after the fact, the archives of it, but we'll keep you posted on. But it is getting ready to happen. And at the very least, people say, well, what difference does it make now? Well, okay, please don't sound like Hillary Clinton and Benghazi. Please don't sound like that. What do you mean, what difference does it make now? It makes a lot of difference, and we'll talk about that later, but I don't want to take the whole program. But the bottom line is, Mike, the people who have known that something stunk to high heaven about all this, you are getting ready to be vindicated. As I've been telling you all along, we've taken heat from the Obots and the naysayers and the liberals and the media, which is now we know with Let me just ask you folks, with WikiLeaks revelation, do you now have any doubt that this could have happened? Even those of you that were skeptical in the beginning, even though I was telling you based upon what I knew but couldn't talk about and couldn't release, I was promising you, and I've never come on this radio station, Mike, neither of you, neither is anybody that works down here, but you and I have never come on here and just lied to people about things. We've never just led people on to mess with people for 8 years. The White House has done that. The media has done that. You and I have never done that. Have we made mistakes along the way? Sure. But we get them right. We admit them. We talk about them. We examine them. But I've been telling you for years, because of stuff that I knew and information I was privy to, that this thing was fake. And there's a reason for that, Mike. Before I hush, I want to present this to our listeners. Mike, think about this. Now, you think about this too. So let's just take my word for it that the document is 100% fabricated fake, okay? Criminally fabricated. That's the thing, criminally fabricated. I mean, they have the proof that this thing was piecemeal together, a little thing from here, a little piece from here, put together here, manufactured this background here, manufactured this information here, cut and pasted it, put it over here, then ran it through equipment to try to hide its metadata and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's criminal activity. If you did that with your identifying documents and tried to pass that off so that you could be the commander-in-chief or whatever, I mean, brother, can you get a job with the FBI, let's say, you handed them a document like that, and you went in and you became an FBI agent, started arresting people, and then they found out later that everything you gave them was manufactured, pieced together. But that's criminal. You understand the importance of this. Right. What difference does it make? All right. But think about this. Now, let's just take my word for it that it is 1,000% criminally manufactured, fabricated. Okay. Now, here's the next question. Why? Okay. There are no good answers to that question. I mean, you could say, well, it's because he didn't have a real birth certificate. Well, that's a bad answer. The other one was, well, there's something on the other birth certificate. He didn't want to be able to say he was embarrassed. Well, that's a bad answer. So you committed a crime to cover up something that was embarrassing. Somebody could say, well, he does have a birth certificate, but he was just jerking around the conspiracy theorists and the American public for 8 years just because he could. By committing a criminal act?
Yeah, it's kind of reckless.
And the president would jerk around the American people for 8 years? Really? That's not a good answer. So now I ask this question. Here we go. Somebody please call this radio station and name for me the governor who has signed an affidavit and gone on record saying, I will lay my job and my future on the line. He was born in my state. I know it. I know it 1,000%. I can prove it. And you're a bunch of conspiracy theory idiots. Somebody please name that governor. By the way, he doesn't exist, or she. All right? Somebody please name a congressman, any congressman, Democrat, Republican, senator, or House of Representatives, a congressman. Name any congressperson who will sign an affidavit or who has signed an affidavit who will lay their career on the line before the world in the media and say, I can swear to you he was born in the United States. I can promise you. I've got the information. Here it is. Excuse me, that congressman doesn't exist. Can somebody please name for me the hospital where the administrators will sign affidavits, lay their careers on the line, lay their hospital on the line, and say, he was born here, we have the records, we can prove it, we know the doctor that delivered him, we know the attendants, we've got all the records here. This is where he was born. That hospital does not exist. Can you name anywhere in the nation where a Department of Health executive director has signed an affidavit or will sign an affidavit or will lay their entire future on the line under penalty of going to prison if they're lying? We have the records. Here they are. I promise you. Let me present them. I will sign an affidavit. I swear to you, we have his original microfilm and hard paper with raised seal records here. That person does not exist. Now I got to ask, how weird is that? America's first black president, Nobel Peace Prize winner, 2 terms, and none of those people exist, and the document is a fake. Okay, so draw your own conclusions, folks. But anyway, this conference is coming up soon, and it will be revealed to the nation.
All right.
So there it is. And so now we have a huge situation. So here's the thing. Let's look at the political landscape. We have a guy coming in that already said he's going to put Hillary in prison because he knows Hillary's a career criminal. Her and her husband are both career criminals. Well, so's Podesta, so's Loretta Lynch. They're all complicit with this scam that's been going on. More than likely, Obama, well, I'm going to show you this video right here. You can decide where he came from, who he really is. I'm not going to go into all that. You can watch this video and decide yourself. But the problem is he's been running an entire country for 8 years, signing with a pen laws, making laws with his pen. Do you understand that when they prove it's a fraud, all that signing, all those laws disappear instantly? Just like any arrest you would have made if you were an FBI agent that lied. Any arrest, anything you did would be over. Anyone would be let out of jail. None of it would be enforceable. None of it. So, this whole thing's been an agenda for a long time, for hundreds and thousands of years, really. Go back to the garden. Is Satan's rule on freaking earth, people. Now, Obama's the guy. Watch this video. And I'm going to show you something that is going to blow your mind. Pay attention. Remember, the interview you just saw just happened. It just happened. They're going to come out, Arpaio and Mike Zullo, they're coming out with this universe-shattering information that people have been waiting for 4 years. You heard him say it. He said, you're going to be totally vindicated. Did you hear him say that this guy that's been ruling the United States, he used that word on purpose. Read between the lines. He's already telling you who he is. You know what Second Thessalonians says? 2 Thessalonians 2. And when the man of sin be revealed, that's when all hell breaks loose. And I'm telling you what, man, they have to, Obama and the cronies and the Satanists, they have to beat everybody to the punch. That's where we're at right now. He's going to have to beat him to the punch. Going to have to beat Trump to the punch. Going to have to beat Zullo and Arpaio to the punch because he's about to be found out. Guess what's coming? Look at your $100 bill and your $10 bill. That's what's coming. Now watch this video right here. There you go.
Here's an image of Akhenaten. Inside the image of Akhenaten, you'll see there's an alien. The image of the Queen Nefertiti, when turned upside down, becomes an image of a dead sheep. This will become significant later in this video. The word Akhenaten means worshippers of the sun. This again will become significant later in this video. The logo for Barack Hussein Obama and his presidency is the rising sun over the stripes of the American flag. It's symbolic of the sun rising over the west, or the sun rising from the place of its setting. This is also referred to in the Quran. The coming of the Mahdi will be when the sun rises from the place of its setting. Now I would like for you to listen to this video by the P.P. Simmons Group, and we'll put the pieces together for you shortly after we run the video from Mr. Simmons.
In a heavily resourced and documented article at AmericanThinker.com titled Barack Hussein Sobarka by Jason Kistner, we find some amazing discoveries regarding the identity problem of Barack Hussein Obama. Jason Kistner is an associate professor of criminology at California State University, Fresno. Following is an edited synopsis of that article with an absolutely surprising find by the P.P. Simmons staff at the end of this video. One of the unexplained mysteries in the all but missing documentation of the early life of Barack Obama is the appearance of the name Sobarka as his last name on an official document filled out by his mother. We are in possession of Stanley Ann Dunham Sotoro's 1968 application to extend her 1965 passport for an additional 2 years. Her passport, by the way, is now reportedly destroyed. On the second page of the application, Ann Dunham attempted to exclude her son Barack Obama, or Sobarka, from her passport, but the item has been crossed out, perhaps on the advice of the consulate in Jakarta, as this would have left 7-year-old little Barry passportless, so the exclusion did not happen. The appendage Sobarka seems to indicate a name change or a change in citizenship status for the boy. But there is a very good and surprisingly simple explanation for the seemingly random appearance of the name Sobarka on Obama's mother's passport application. Believe it or not, the reason appears to be linked to Loretta Fuddy. That's right, the same Loretta Fuddy, the Hawaii State Health Director who approved the release of Obama's long-form birth certificate and who recently and mysteriously died in a plane crash off the coast of Molokai. Obama's mother and Loretta Fuddy have one very strange factor in common. Both have been directly linked to the Subud cult, which originated in, of all places, Indonesia, and was founded by the Javanese Muslim Muhammad Sabu. The small cult appears to have around 20,000 members worldwide. Fuddy's cult member name was Diliana. Her official position was regional helper. Note also that the World Subud organization seems to have been based in, of all cities, Chicago. Wow, think about it. Indonesia, Chicago, Hawaii, 3 locales linked directly and very importantly to Obama's life. We also know from a Hawaii Advertiser article that Subud was introduced to Hawaii in the 1960s. Obama's mother was directly linked to Subud by her biographer and New York Times reporter Janie Scott in the book A Singular Woman, The Untold Story of Barack Obama's Mother. This book was reviewed by the New York Times, so this is a heavily documented fact. Loretta Fuddy worked her way up the ranks and became chairwoman of Subud USA, based in Seattle, from 2006 to 2008. But note that of all the persons that could have been installed as director of the State Department of Health in Hawaii, Hawaii chose Fuddy.
I'm going to pause it for just a moment. Let's talk for a moment. Do you understand what he's telling you? He's this woman right here that's in the same cult as Obama's mother from Indonesia that has ties in Chicago as well as Hawaii. This woman was placed as the head of the director of health from the hospital that Obama's birth certificate came from. And oddly enough, she died in a single engine plane crash. Now, let me tell you something. I am a skydiving videographer. I've worn a helmet on my head and I had a camera on my helmet and I would jump out and videotape people skydiving. I'm a pro sky surfer and a skydiver. Let me tell you something. When a freaking plane is going down to the ground, and I've been in planes that are dead stick that are going in, let me tell you what you don't do. You don't sit there and hold on to your freaking camera like, oh, hey, I think I'll get some good footage of the freaking plane wrecking. And what you're gonna see in the rest of this video is allegedly when the plane went down, some guy's in the water holding his freaking video camera. Are you joking me? When you're making impact with the water in a single engine plane, let me tell you what your number one concern is: getting the freaking door open and getting out of the plane so you don't go down with it. You're not going to be going, oh, look, I got my camera. I think I'll videotape the whole crash. Here's another thing. Look at the lens that was used in the videotape of the plane in the water. There's no distortion. I'm sorry. When you went down in the water, did your freaking camera get wet? Oh, it didn't. What were you using, a GoPro? Did you have it in a case? I mean, it's absurd. It's insane. So now we know who Obama is. Keep listening.
A leader of a small cult with roots in Indonesia and connections to Barack Obama's mother. Secondly, remember that Fuddy assumed the directorship position in Hawaii in January 2011 after being appointed by Hawaii's governor just a few months before the release of Obama's long-form birth certificate. Changing one's name for spiritual reasons was something frequently done by followers of the cult Subud, and Stanley Ann Sotoro was in fact closely associated with Subud. We know that. It is reasonable then to suppose that Subarka, the name chosen for Obama on that passport, arose in the same way new names for others, like Diliana Loretta Fuddy did. But remember that the name...
I'm going to pause it again. The name Sobarka on this passport, he's alleging that it looks like maybe that was a cult name given to little Barack. Wait till you see what the name Sobarka turns into when you identify it backwards, the way Satan does things. So
Sobarka appears in the passport renewal section labeled amend to include or exclude children. The name Barack Hussein Obama Sobarku is crossed out. This signifies that Obama's mother had apparently decided to exclude Barack from her passport renewal. Apparently, Stanley Ann Dunham Sotoro changed her mind about the exclusion. Perhaps this was done after having been informed by the consulate there that doing so would leave Barack without a passport. But there is another possibility, one just as valid and even simpler. What if Obama's mother was trying to include Obama in the renewal, but she wasn't able to produce a birth certificate, and the Subud name Subarka simply did not suffice legally? That could explain why the name Subarka appears nowhere else in any of Obama's documentation of which we are currently aware. But now for the real shocker in this entire matter. The staff at P.P. Simmons did some research and found an old picture of the founder of the cult of Subud, one Muhammad Sabu Sumohadi Wijojo. Do you see anything odd here? Think about it. Fuddy, Obama's mother Dunham, Subud, Hawaii, Chicago, Indonesia, no birth certificate, Subarka on the passport, a dead Hawaii Department of Health director, the one who conveniently certified Obama's forged and fabricated long-form birth certificate. Are all of these simply odd coincidences, or is there something more here? I have a feeling we will soon know the truth.
Fact number one. Sabu is the name of its founder, Mohammed Sabu. He was given that name as a new name from an unknown passerby during a near-death childhood experience. Here is an excerpt. Fact number two. The Mahdi must come from the line of Muhammad. This also fits with the Bedouin tribe correlation as well. Fact number three. The name Sabu means sunrise or dawn. Fact number four. The coming of the Mahdi, or Antichrist, will be preceded by the sun rising from the place of its setting, which is the west. Barack Obama's campaign logo is the sun rising over the west. Fact number five. The cult of Sabu, or rising sun, originated in Indonesia. Barack and his mother lived in Indonesia, and Barack was raised in Indonesia. Fact number six. Loretta Fuddy is also a member of the Rising Sun cult, Sabu. Remember that Obama's logo is a rising sun, and the name Sabu means rising sun. Fact number seven. Stanley Ann Dunham Sotero is Barack Obama's mother. She also raised Barack Obama in Indonesia, the same as the origin of the Rising Sun cult called Sabu. Oddly enough, the founder of Sabu, or Rising Sun, looks identical to Barack Obama, who also has a logo that is a rising sun. Fact number 8. Loretta Fuddy, a member of the Rising Sun cult, Sabu, is an acquaintance of Barack Obama's mother, who is also a member of the same cult from Indonesia. Fact number 9. Loretta Fuddy was recently mysteriously...
I'm going to pause this now and we're going to talk, and I'm going to try not to freak out. Do you see what you're looking at? You see how it says actual video? Yeah. You're telling me. I don't know how many thousands of jumps I have because I quit counting. But let me tell you something. When you're on your way down in an airplane, in the ocean, you don't have your video camera out. It says actual, but they posted this ridiculous video. Oh, look, here's the actual footage. See, yeah, Loretta Fuddy, she died. See the footage? It says actual video. What was the guy sitting in there in the plane going, oh, this is really cool. Hey, we're about to die. We're all going to land in shark-infested waters. I think I'll get my camera out. That's awesome. Let's see what kind of footage he got.
killed in a plane crash. And oddly
Oh,
enough,
look. So, yeah, he's got his camera out, taking pictures.
she was the one person of 7 billion people.
Yeah, yeah, look at that. That's awesome. Good
who was
video.
also
Look.
a member of the...
Oh, that's awesome. He held on to his camera.
Oddly
You know,
enough,
he
she was
did a
the one
good
person
job.
of 7 billion...
Hey, I'll do a selfie in the water. Yeah, I just happen to have my video camera with me.
People on planet Earth. Fact number 9. Loretta Fuddy was recently mysteriously killed in a plane crash. And oddly enough, she was the one person of 7 billion people on planet Earth who was also a member of the Rising Sun cult that happened to be the one link to Barack Obama, whose logo is a rising sun, and his birth certificate. Truly, dead men or women tell no tales. Now let us consider some more information. Akhenaten, who was a pharaoh in ancient Egypt, also is associated with Imhotep the mummy. Akhenaten means worshippers of the sun. Here is a hieroglyph of Akhenaten, which shows an image of an alien inside Akhenaten himself. In the Bible, the devil is called the serpent or the dragon. Here is an image of Akhenaten in another hieroglyph, which shows a dragon coming out of the sun. Once again, the sun is involved.
Also makes a crescent moon.
Revelation 12:9 in the Bible states, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world." Therefore we know that the dragon is Satan. The Bible says that Satan turns things around and backwards and upside down. In Isaiah 29:16, let us consider those words. Here are images from the Bible.
You need to really take Isaiah 29:16 and 15 and 16, and you need to memorize them. You need to write these on your heart. This is how you unveil the enemy.
Different versions that you may read for yourself. Now let us look at the 2008 inauguration of Barack Obama, whose mother's cult leader was also known as Bapak, B-A-P-A-K, almost identical to the name Barack. The leader of the cult, who was given his name under very mysterious circumstances, his name is Mohammed Sabu. The word Mohammed means to praise, and the word Sabu means the rising sun. So the words together mean to praise the rising sun. Here is a clip that shows Barack Obama giving his acceptance speech, standing on a stage that is a replica he had built of the seat of Satan, which is at the Berlin Museum. As he gives his speech, he encourages the crowd to repeat after him, "Yes, we can. Yes, we can." Remember that Satan turns things backwards and upside down. If you listen to the words "yes, we can" backwards, it simply plays, "Thank you, Satan. Thank you, Satan." So he is standing on a stage, and they are praising Satan, saying it backwards, just as the Bible says.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Heck, you say. Heck, you say. Heck, you say. Heck, you say.
So Barack Obama, which means lightning from heaven, from Luke 10:18, in which Jesus said, "I beheld Satan falling as lightning from heaven," Barack Obama is standing on a stage that is a replica of the seat of Satan. He is having the crowd chant, "Yes, we can," which backwards is "Thank you, Satan." And his logo is the rising sun. And the leader of the cult that his mother is from means to praise the rising sun. The only connection to Barack Obama and his birth certificate, Loretta Fuddy was mysteriously killed in a plane crash, and out of 7 billion people on planet Earth, she is the one connection between Barack Obama and his birth certificate, and they are from the same cult, the Rising Sun. The coming of the Mahdi the Antichrist will be preceded by the sun rising over the west. Let us consider everything we're looking at and consider it well before we move on to the conclusion.
My name is Barack Obama. My mother was born in Kansas. My father was born in Kenya. And I was born, of course, in Hawaii.
Remember that Satan turns things upside down and backwards. Let us look at 9/11. It is an established fact that 9/11 and the bombing of the Twin Towers was done with the knowledge of our own government, as well as the image of the bombing being printed on U.S. currency. It is a fact that Barack Obama signed an 11,000-pound steel beam at the top of the One World Freedom Center, which replaced the Twin Towers. The beam read, "We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger." It is a fact that the letters WWW from we in Hebrew are va va va, which is the equivalent of 666. Therefore, when Barack Obama signed the top of the One World Freedom Tower, he signed the numbers 666 in Hebrew. It is a fact that Revelation 9:11 states, quote, "And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in Greek tongue has the name Apollyon." It is also a fact that Eos, E-O-S, means morning star or goddess. It is also an established fact that Eo, the root of Eos, means Abaddon or Apollyon. It is a fact that the name Barack Hussein Sobarka appears on his mother's 1968 passport extension from Indonesia. Remember, Satan turns things backwards and upside down. Let us look at Sobarka broken down backwards. The root of Hakrab is Akra, which means weakness of will, acting in a way that is contrary to one's sincerely held moral values. This is what happens when a person falls into a sinful state. They act in a way that is contrary to their sincerely held moral values. Remember, Eos means goddess or morning star. Eo, the root, means Abaddon or Apollyon. The root of Sobarka backward is a sinful state. The entirety of the word is a sinful state, Abaddon. Here is an image of the Denver Broncos Stadium as they worship their king, Abaddon, the rider on the white horse.
The name Obama took from his Indonesian stepfather, Lolo Sotoro. That class register says Obama came from Honolulu and lists his date of birth. But look at his nationality. It's listed as Indonesian and his religion as Islam.
What I was suggesting, you are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not
Christian
come
faith.
My Christian faith.
And they did it because they know their king. Who's their king? Who's their king? The angel of the bottomless pit, whose name is Abaddon, Apollyon. Mystery solved, folks. It's over.
My mother was born in Kansas. My father was born in Kenya. And I was born, of course, in Hawaii. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
So there it is. We are on a countdown in either I'm right or I'm the most misled guy on the planet. Well, I just did a video showing you the Rolling Stones. Has anybody seen my baby? And at the end of the video, they showed the Statue of Liberty and the destruction of New York with that dead sheep. Did you see the sheep Keith Richards was standing on? And sideways, it's the devil. Same thing as the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. I told you so. I want to take a moment just to thank everybody. I mean, let me explain something to everybody. I wish I could hang out with every person or give everybody some time, but it's impossible. And it's also kind of unfair also to be answering stuff on Facebook to one person and not another. It's just, So I don't participate in Facebook. I have to have an account to do stuff I do, but I don't participate. So please don't feel offended that I haven't responded or done any friending or any of that. It has nothing to do with anything. I just can't. Like I said, I've had to erase 54,000 unread emails previously, and I probably have more than that waiting for me right now. So I just can't. I'm only one person. And so I'm just ringing the bell. I was called to tell people that the king is coming. I was called in 2002. It's proven out. Everything I've told you now is proven out so far to be true. All of it. Every bit of it. 100% no lying. So, if you're not saved, ask Jesus Christ to show you the absolute truth. That's what you need to ask. Say you want to know him and you want to know the truth, the 100% truth. Because truth is not relative. It's either absolute or it's not truth at all. Turn it upside down. If you want to see the truth, turn everything upside down. And you'll see that there's another race of beings here and they're raising you as food. Scary stuff. All right, Jesus is coming. Yes, thank God. I'm ready. Be ready. All right, folks.